My name is Charlotte Mandell, and I'm reading from The Magnetic Fields by André Breton and Philippe Soupault. I'm reading the chapter called In 80 Days. The sad Sunday suburbs and the roots of local importance are a sad setting. The freshly equipped traveler who sets off with just a single idea in his brilliant brain runs his eyes over his house, the fireplace, and the broad lanes leading to the town halls. Still, I have never seen in the hands of lingering travelers this cold persistence which brings to mind lakes by the sea. His footstep echoes. He is walking on his heart. At this instant, nothing else counts, not even the servant shouts over the gate, not even the frantic look of his pets. With his arm motionless, he opens his eyes and the sun rises slowly over his sacrificed life. Every passage is greeted with the departures of the largest birds. Vegetable gardens are surrounded by various fences and trees of May or October, which let the wind wander through. What are these dingy houses that open their shutters only to broad daylight? The major chimneys and iron doors of monotonous buildings allow shouts and the whir of machines to run freely. You still have to turn your back. It's the low houses that are lying in wait for us. The inhabitants are former civil servants from the colonies. In their gazes, you can read fear of tapirs, and their voices are like the whimpers of adventurous jackals. They let the tall, stooped man go by. Then they call to him to serve him spicy dishes and tell him made-up stories. In the center of Africa, there is a lake peopled with male insects that know nothing except to die at day's end. Even further on, there is a tall tree that overlooks the neighboring mountains. The birdsong is gloomier than the color of sails. You do not know the miners building theaters in the deserts. The missionaries accompanying them have forgotten how to speak their native language. At every crossroad, women come to look for the silty water abandoned to them by the hillside, color of unhappy nights. Every night you hear a somber noise that goes by, painful to our tired ears. It's the gaunt traveler sitting down by the edge of a ditch. The orange-tinged road flies began to doze off. Frightened by this shadow covering them, they wheel in dense clouds and come to rest on his dusty cheeks. But he sees nothing but the likely heat of a village and the current of air that will cut off his aching hands. Night approaches and his eyes close. His dream is fervent and bitter, the brave galloping of oblivions, ever-guilty monster, silent springs of damaged days, unhappiness of men receiving prizes, smoke of clear words and dark lines. Who will dissipate these endlessly reborn nightmares? The disenchanted flies have fallen silent, and the surest companion is this pile of pebbles marking the road. So we can no longer know what crime this man has committed who is slumbering deeply to the sound of starry songs. Dreams hold each other by the hand. Clothes of flayed women, sighs of birds dead from hunger, cries of wooden boats, depth of underwater precipices. A fish with dirty hair slips between the arms of plants. A frightened mollusk glances over all the water bathing him to find his savior there. The hairy fish doesn't want to feel sorry for itself and constantly cuts the roots that try to hold it back. The whole sea couldn't know where it's going. Buried cities, warmth of smothered bodies, death rattle of lifelong skaters, salty diseases of wandering beasts, aimless gas, lamp of days, drunkenness of boulevards, abstract clouds of western skies, passageways of calm laughter, the gaze of the pit sawyer, walled-in brine, recording of basins and parasitic minerals, store of sufferings to come. And yet again on that day, the sun rose. That road of shells led to a sunken city. From miles away, you could see the multicolored roofs gleaming. A golden door closed the entrance. In the small glassed-in house, a man decorated with Mexican medals was writing on a canvas parallel equations, dictated to him by a tame butterfly. The traveler paused, and for the first time in some months, he spoke to the medaled man. It goes on, but I'll stop here.